The Chicago Bears have made another signing on day 2 of NFL free agency. It is Kentavius Street, the veteran defensive lineman, who I think will play defensive tackle in this 4-3 scheme under Dennis Allen, who actually played under a few years back. We'll talk about the signing here on today's show and kind of recap the day for you guys as we're approaching dinner time here on day 2 of NFL free agency. Give me your one-word reaction to this signing down in the comment section of this video. One-word reaction to Kentavius Street signing with the Chicago Bears for what I'm assuming is a couple $1 million. My one-word reaction is just depth. Again, like Neville Gallimore, you don't have many defensive tackles. I know Jordan Schultz tweeted it out as a defensive end, so everybody's like, oh my God, we thought we were getting Max Crosby, and we get Kentavius Street. In a 4-3, he's a defensive tackle. He played under Dennis Allen in 2022 and played defensive tackle. And by the way, had a career-high sacks that year with 3.5. Did have 2 sacks in just 7 games this past season. Deep rotation guy, DT4 type. Again, just depth, competition. We'll probably have to earn a roster spot. It's not a lock that he would make the roster, but, we'll see. Obviously, you've got Shamar Turner coming off an injury. We'll see if they play him at D-tack or edge. Just to make another connection, I mentioned the Dennis Allen. He did play in Atlanta the last 3 years, which would include the last 2 years of Grady Jarrett's time in Atlanta. So they go back as well. 6'2", 315. We'll see if they play him more as a 1 or a 3 technique if he does make this roster. But, I'm sure the comments are going to be like, this is so underwhelming. Well, you do have to fill out a 53-man roster, and in the offseason, it turns into a 90-man roster. So, that's kind of been what the last couple of signings have been. Cam Lewis, Contavius Street, quality backups who have been in the league for a few years now. Lewis for 6 years, Kentavius Street for 7 years. And, on we go in NFL free agency. The Bears continue to, make sensible moves. We're not going to go crazy and throw $30 million per year at Jalen Phillips. Let's plug some holes. Let's add some depth, and then probably be on to the draft soon. I would still like to add an edge who can help this pass rusher off the edge. We'll see if that comes before the draft, after the draft, during the draft, all of the above. We'll have to wait and see. But I got no problem with this whatsoever because entering free agency, you had 2 defensive tackles on your roster, at least surefire ones, in Grady Jarrett and Gervon Dexter, and both could be off the team after this year. We'll see where Dio Adengbo and Shamar Turner fit in on the defensive line. They could be edge, they could be inside, they could play both. So a lot of moving parts there. But Kentavius Street, depth guy, veteran. He'll be 30 this year, 8th NFL season. You don't last in the league for 8 years by accident. So really don't have any qualms with this signing whatsoever. Subscribe to the channel, and I do just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in to our Day 2 free agency stream. We were live for 6 hours after being live for 7.5 hours on day 1. So you guys are real ones. If you want free and daily Bears content, hit that subscribe button. At the end of the stream, I said if the Bears make a move, we'll make a video, and 20 minutes after we signed off, they made a move. So promises kept, promises delivered. As politicians like to say, but I'm no politician. But if you want to support the show, please subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. All right, shoot your shot with PrizePicks. We will continue with the episode in a moment, but on PrizePicks, you can get $50 instantly in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. That's right, PrizePicks is now giving you $50 in lineups once you sign up and play your first $5. PrizePicks will make every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss the chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. It is PrizePicks. Football might be over, but I'm just getting started with PrizePicks as the hoops action is heating up. March is here. Points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, free throws, steals, blocks, turnovers. Pick more or less on stat projections for 2 to 6 player lineups, and if you hit, you win money. And guess what? If you're not into basketball, baseball, other sports that are getting going here, in some cases are going like basketball, we have season-long football projections. I took more on Myles Garrett's 13.75 sacks for the upcoming season. I took more on Caleb Williams' passing yards, and I took more on Colston Loveland's receiving touchdowns. $20 lineup to win $100. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups once you sign up and play your first $5. That is code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it is good to be right. All right, so, fairly busy for the Bears, if not splashy. They've made a couple of splashes, but they've been selective and I think have made sensible decisions that's not going to hurt them long term. Garrett Bradbury will be the starting center this year, barring a surprise. They traded for him. They bring back a core special teamer and Daniel Hardy on a 2-year, $6 million deal. It's really more like a 2 for $5 with $1 million in incentives. DeMarco Jackson, 2 for $7.5, could get up to 10.5 with incentives. That's probably based on playing time if he starts, all that stuff. Neville Gallimore, really a 2 for $10, up to 12 on his contract. So you had him as a defensive tackle, obviously Kentavius Street, who you just added. Coby Bryant, 3 for $40. That's the biggest money move they've made so far, 25.5 guaranteed. He will be here at least the next 2 years as one of your starting safeties. I think they'll fill that other hole at safety in the draft, but we'll see. Devin Bush, 3 years, $30 million with $21 million guaranteed. Case Keenum is back on a 2-year, $5.5 million contract. Braxton Jones, 1 up to 10. Up to is the key phrase there. His cap hit's already been revealed. It's $4.3 million, so it's really a $5 million contract with incentives up to 10. And then the moves today, they've made a trio of them. Kalif, Raymond, 1 year, $5.1 million. Love the move. He's an elite return man. Wide receiver 3-4 type as well. Knows Ben Johnson's offense. Has been in Detroit the last 5 years. Knows Antoine Randall, the wide receiver coach as well. That should be a seamless transition. He can kind of replace both Olamide Zaccheaus and Devin Duvernay individually. Cam Lewis, versatile DB, has played safety, nickel, and outside corner during his 6 seasons in Buffalo. 2-year deal. Contract details to be announced. I would imagine it's like 2 for $5, 2 for $6, something like that. And then Kentavius Street, I would guess 1-year deal, maybe vet minimum or a tick more. That would be my guess. Bring in another depth defensive tackle. I still think this is a position they'll probably add somebody in the draft. And then a guy like Kentavius Street will have to compete for a roster spot / be, a back-end roster guy. So you think about the Gallimore and Kentavius Street moves, I think you're probably looking at like more DA prototypes. So Andrew Billings gone, Chris Williams likely gone. Kind of look at it that way in terms of you're just kind of shuffling in back-end depth pieces, and that's a lot of what you see in free agency. Everybody wants to see the sexy, splashy moves, and there's a few of those sometimes. But again, it's a 53-man roster, and in the offseason, it's a 90-man roster. So there's back into the roster maneuvering, 24/7, 365 on the NFL calendar. So welcome Kentavius Street, and we'll see what he can do for this football team. 10.5 career sacks. Not like he hasn't done anything. All right, guys. We got the Beers hat and shirt combo. $10 off until midnight tonight. You can also check out all the merch at chatsports.com/bearshop to get that $10 discount. If you add both individual items into your shopping cart, it'll automatically give you the discount, so take advantage today. We also have the rest of our gear, the St. Patty's gear, the Iceman, the FGB, and so much more. Chatsports.com/Bears shop. Take advantage today. Get started right now. Now, full disclosure on this, since it's after 3 o'clock and really it's after 6 o'clock now, the shipping day is kind of over. So with the weekend coming up beyond March 14th, I can't say with 100% certainty the express shipping would get you the St. Patrick's Day gear by St. Patty's Day. It might. Either way, I think it's worth using the express shipping. It's only 25 cents more, and if you get any of the other gear, I would still use the express shipping where it applies. Check it out, chatsports.com/bearshop. Our full inventory of merchandise is right there. Also, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will continue with our coverage throughout free agency. Day 3 tomorrow. If the Bears make another move tonight, we will have it covered as well. So subscribe and bear down.